Welcome back, Pixel Nation. Comics Division here. How the hell are you? For 9 years, Bill and Ted 3 has been in the works, and rumors have been floating around that it's going to be about a middle-aged Bill and Ted that are struggling to write the song that ultimately creates the utopia that Rufus is from. Finally, in March of this year, it was announced that the movie got the green light. The title is Bill and Ted Face the Music, with a release date of August 21st, 2020. The script is written by the two original creators, Chris Matheson and Ed Solomon, with Dean Parasite confirmed as the director. Bill and Ted 3 would have been more feasible back in the early 2000s when George Carlin was still alive. Also, I'm not really sure that this is a sequel anyone truly asked for, but we're getting one regardless. Now, before we get too deep into it, make sure you go and hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel and bash that bell for notifications. I've heard it works on occasion. Also, go to subscribestar.com/comics-division if you want to go and help support the channel. Also, keep an eye out for an announcement regarding Pixel Nation. I'm working on a few articles, and hopefully I can have something up in the next couple weeks. Along with the announcement, a plot synopsis was also released. This is coming from the New York Post. Yet to fulfill their rock and roll destiny, the now middle-aged best friends set out on a new adventure when a visitor from the future warns them that only their song can save life as we know it and bring harmony to the universe. Along the way, they'll be helped by their families, old friends, and a few music legends. Now, this article comes from The Hollywood Reporter, which gives a little more detail. Currently in production, Bill and Ted Face the Music will see the duo long past their days as time-traveling teenagers and now weighed down by middle age and the responsibility of family. Now, this is the part I find the most concerning. They've written thousands of tunes, but they have yet to write a good one, much less the greatest song ever written. If this is the case, this completely retcons the ending of Bill and Ted's bogus journey. Now, it's been a while, so here's a quick recap. At the end, Bill and Ted learn how to go and play their instruments, they marry the princesses, they have little Ted and little Bill, and win the Battle of the Bands. During the end credits, we learn that air guitar cleans up smog, the Wild Stallions tour to the Middle East brings peace, and they even play on Mars. And who can forget that there's the death lip-syncing scandal? Everything is wrapped up in a nice neat little package, and now it looks like everything is going to be undone. With the fabric of time and space tearing around them, a visitor from the future warns our heroes that only their song can save life as we know it. Out of luck and fresh out of inspiration, Bill and Ted set out on a time-traveling adventure to seek the song that will set the world right and bring harmony to the universe, together with the aid of their daughters. Yet another retcon. A new crop of historical figures and some sympathetic music legends, they find much more than just a song. Now, I haven't heard anyone talk about this, but back in early June, casting announcements have been made, and Bridget Lundy-Paine will be playing Ted's daughter, Billy Logan, and Samara Weaving will be playing Bill's daughter, Thea Preston. Now, I can't help but think that this kind of change has been made because the pendulum has swung too far in one direction in its current year. Now, I do have several concerns for this movie going forward. For older franchises, we've seen several trends in Hollywood. There's been the passing of the torch from the older generation to the new, which we've seen in Star Wars and the upcoming Ghostbusters sequel. And then there's the rebooting of a franchise with a gender swap cast, which we've seen in Ghostbusters 2016, Ocean's 9, and Lord of the Flies, which I believe is now DOA. Unfortunately, this movie has both, which can spell a recipe for disaster as well as fan backlash. In a now deleted tweet, an accusation of forced diversity was lobbed at Solomon, which prompted Solomon to fire back. Let me deal with this directly. This has nothing to do with Hollywood. This is a creative choice based on many things, not the least of which is that we did young Bill and Ted as boys. They were called Bill and Ted. Now, if you feel like you've already done this before, come up with something new and original, rather than going and playing it safe with a gender swap reboot or sequel. I think it's pretty evident that original storytelling is dead in Hollywood, and it truly is a place where ideas go to meet their doom. But to address this point, you're making another sequel to Bill and Ted, and odds are that people that show up to this movie called Bill and Ted are expecting to see a movie about Bill and Ted, not Billy and Thea. Hell, people aren't even showing up to see Little Bill and Little Ted. They're there for Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter. I don't understand why this is so difficult to understand. To do so again would be boring and derivative. Despite a few flaws, many were script problems, one of the things I'm proudest of with Bogus Journey, we should have kept the original title, Bill and Ted Go to Hell, was that it was most decidedly not a rehash. Now, for the most part, I do agree with what he said. I did enjoy the movie despite the fact that it was rather flawed and not as good as the original, and it's true, it's not a rehash. And going forward, I don't want to see a rehash with Bill and Ted 3, but honestly, I don't see the point to the sequel at all. As I've already pointed out, the franchise was already nicely wrapped up. But you are making a Bill and Ted movie, so I want to see Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter. Doing a gender swap of the title characters is lazy and predictable. Now, trying to make it work with a middle-aged Bill and Ted is gonna take some creativity, though I don't know if it's gonna be as enjoyable as the original. After all, some paths are just best untread. This one, like it or not, is not a rehash either, of itself or of anything else. Plus, the world has seen enough boy buddy movies. Bill and Ted, then Wayne's World, Beavis and Butthead, Dumb and Dumber, etc. We are adults now. Bill and Ted are adults. We can deal with it, so can you. Oh, come on, Ed, let's not pretend like female buddy films haven't been a thing before. As a matter of fact, there's been plenty of them. There's Clueless, Bridesmaids, Ghost World, Thelma and Louise, my personal favorite, Romeo and Michelle's High School Reunion, Fried Green Tomatoes, Steel Magnolias, The First Wives Club, The Heat, the list goes on and on. But it's 2019, and we're just now getting to featuring women and minorities in movies. Because that's never been a thing before, right? We take this very seriously, and we've made the decisions for personal and creative reasons, and for what we thought was best for the movie, period. And we made it a long time ago. But at the end of the day, it's just a comedy, written from the heart, but designed to entertain. That's it. Now, that very well may be the case, but Hollywood is filled with cheats and liars. Compounded with the current climate of 2019 and the Me Too movement, I find this a little too convenient. So excuse me if I don't exactly take this at face value. Now, if this was announced a decade ago, I would be more inclined to believe it. But if you really want to treat this like some sort of Talmudic text over which you need to pore for hints of actual intent, the original Little Bill and Little Ted were played by Candace and Lauren Mead. At this point, we consider the case closed. Now, clearly, you don't understand fandom. Treating things like sacred texts is what fans do, and we will go through things, pick it apart, and try and derive the true intent. As for Little Bill and Little Ted being played by Candace and Lauren, this doesn't necessarily mean they are girls. After all, Peter Pan is usually portrayed by a woman despite the fact that Peter is a male. Also, Nancy Cartwright is the voice actor of Bart Simpson. This is done because women sound more like prepubescent boys. And it's not like you could really tell the difference between a male and a female baby at that young of an age. Now, to me, this sounds like Ed is trying to justify these changes. Now, it could be the case that Ed is truly writing from the heart and wants to create an entertaining film, but it's current year and everything seems to be political these days. So why would this be any different? Yes, I know I'm being a cynical bastard, because I am one. I'm dreading a film where Bill and Ted are going to be a bunch of big idiots and their daughters have to go and figure out everything for them. And ultimately, they are the ones who are responsible for creating the song, which is not what Bill and Ted is about. So what are your thoughts, folks? Is this something you're excited about? Is it on your list to see, or are you simply gonna hard pass? Leave a comment and let me know. Personally, I'm not excited about this film. Odds are we're just gonna get more woke garbage. Hopefully I'm wrong on this, but it's 2019, what do you expect? Hopefully it won't, but I guess only time will tell. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. And if you didn't, go ahead and give it a hate like. If you want to see more of my crappy content and shitty opinions, make sure to subscribe. Bash that bell for notifications. I've even heard it works on occasion. And I want to give a huge shout out to those of you who support me on Subscribestar. I do appreciate it. I'll catch you next time, folks.